Howdy folks, I'm Royal Regal Fertility, regally ruling over resident rodents.
I'm Amber.
And here are more resident rodents for us to rule over. At least it's not like Resident Evil. I mean, that would be kind of creepy and video game-esque. Those games have zombies. Maybe it would be Resident Rodent Zombies. Zombie rodents. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Let My Future Stepdaughter Use My Late Wife's Wedding Dress for Her Cosplay? I am a 41-year-old male and I have a daughter, Lucy, a 15-year-old female, and I'm engaged to my fiance, Ashley, a 38-year-old female who has a daughter, Tina, 16-year-old female. I've been widowed for 6 years now. My late wife, Rachel, passed away from cancer, and it was one of the most devastating times of my life. Rachel and I were high school sweethearts. When she passed away, I stored a few of her things, including her wedding dress, which is one that she had designed and sewn herself. It's not your typical white gown. This is a vintage corset-type, deep red velvet dress. She had always been into fantasy aesthetics, and her dream was always to wear something that made her look like a medieval queen. So fast forward to now, my fiance's daughter, Tina, is really into cosplay and fantasy stuff too. She's generally a good kid, creative, outgoing, and kind to my daughter. No real issues. We were having dinner the other night and she casually brought up the idea of doing a fantasy bride cosplay for a convention next month. Everyone thought that it was a fun idea. Then she suggested wearing Rachel's wedding dress since it was already a fantasy bridal wear and it was perfect for her. Well, I was caught off guard by the idea. Ashley immediately chimed in saying that it was an amazing idea and if we could get it altered so it would fit Tina. I immediately shut it down and I told them Rachel's dress wasn't a costume. It was a personal memory. I said that no one would be wearing it and it wasn't up for discussion. Tina looked shocked. Ashley said that she didn't realize that I was so protective over a dress and that I needed to learn to let the past go if I were truly going to build a future with them together. I told her that I have let many things go and I've moved forward. I'm marrying her and I've done therapy, but that dress is one of the only memories I have left of her. It was something that Rachel poured her soul into. To me, it feels like a piece of her. Things have been weird ever since, and Ashley told me that I embarrassed Tina and made her feel like an outsider in our own future family. Tina hasn't spoken to me since. My daughter Lucy is firmly on my side. She says that she would have been mad if Tina had worn her mom's dress like a costume. But now Ashley's sister and even her mom have weighed in, saying that I'm holding onto a ghost and playing favorites by keeping something so emotionally significant away from someone who just wanted to honor the same aesthetic that Rachel loved. I have been feeling guilty, especially considering how well Tina and I usually get along, but I can't seem to let the dress go. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. This isn't just any dress. This is your late wife's wedding dress. It is a deeply sentimental item. I could understand a little bit more if, Tina, a few years down the road asked about using it for a wedding dress, something of equal significance, but to permanently alter such an important dress for a cosplay. And I'm not saying, I love cosplays. I think they're amazing. But it is not on the same, emotional magnitude for a lot of people as a wedding. Like this dress has very sentimental meaning to OP, and Tina doesn't have any connection to it. And it's more like just a costume for her, whereas for OP, this is a piece of his past. And so I think I understand Tina's desire to wear what sounds like a very lovely dress, but she would be using it as kind of a prop, as just like an accessory and not as with the meaning that it has.
Well, that's the trouble I have here is that, I understand her being maybe a little crushed that she didn't get to fulfill her vision of whatever she wanted, right? But there are other different types of costumes that she could wear, right? She could even go to a thrift store and oftentimes they'll have like wedding dresses and stuff like that she could buy on the cheap and alter and, turn into a medieval fantasy type of thing, right? Why does it need to be OP's special reminder of his late wife, right?
And my guess is because it's there and it's easy more than anything. If she's really into cosplay, then hopefully she has some sewing skills. If she doesn't, this is a great time to start building those sewing skills. And, maybe, OP and her could like look at fabrics together. I don't know if OP has any sewing skills, but, help her find some fabrics that she could use to make this dress herself or, find a pattern or any number of things. But it's not fair to expect OP to give up this dress because it is not just a dress.
Well, and the last thing that I kind of want to touch in on is Lucy is still the daughter of, OP's late wife.
Mm-hmm.
So she should get first say in whether or not she wears this dress, right, for her own wedding. And even if she doesn't want to wear the dress for her own wedding, right, then, it's still up to OP to want to preserve that memory in some way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you wanted to treat the girls equally, I mean, I think having it reserved for something as big as a wedding would be, yeah, I'm not saying he should or shouldn't, it sounds like he doesn't want anyone wearing it, period, and that's his prerogative. But, if I would understand a little bit more if this was for something, really big and sentimental where the dress would be treated with the due care. And it doesn't sound like it would be.
No. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, My Husband Told Me That I Shouldn't Be Wearing That Because I'm a Mom, and Amber wants to read this one.
I'm 28 years old. My husband and I went out with our friends for the first time in a very long time. I wore something risky. Not even that risky. It's a tight dress that's exposed and laced on the sides. He told me that I really shouldn't be wearing that kind of stuff out anymore since I'm someone's mom now. I'm petite. I look good. You wouldn't even be able to tell I had a kid unless you saw my stretch marks. With that said, why does that matter? No one knows I'm a mom unless I tell them. Like, what? He told me it's just not modest and kind of embarrassing. My husband threw out my hoe clothes. I call them my going out clothes or night out clothes, but that's what he calls it. I told him he owes me money on new clothes, and he said he would take me shopping himself, but I don't want to do that since he's going to act like my dad and say no to all the clothes I like. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I just don't want to look like other moms. I have a great body and a good sense of style, staying on top with modern fashion. I'm still young. I want to be able to wear whatever I want while I still look good, and I don't think that's a crime.
All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk, or immediate divorce?
Yeah, I would divorce him. I'm definitely not the jerk. This controlling behavior is really not okay. You're absolutely right. Like, just because you're a mom doesn't mean you're fundamentally changed as a human being. You are in some ways, but not in terms of your fashion. You can still keep wearing the same kind of clothes you wore before.
I mean, I'm actually going to have to side with the guy here for a minute. Like, why isn't she wearing the 17th century, full Victorian garb, layers upon layers of cloth so that she can maintain her modesty? I mean, I just don't understand what's so hard about that.
Yeah, no.
I'm joking, of course.
I know. I think that was pretty clear. But, just the double standard here, like, what clothes does he have to give up because he's a dad now?
Well, that's it. None, right? I'm guessing none. And I think that maybe if OP were to treat this with an eye for an eye and toss out all of his clothes now that he's a dad, he would probably toss out all his jeans and t-shirts and stuff like that and be like, well, now you just get to wear suits and ties from now on.
You gotta look like a dad.
Yeah, you gotta look like a dad.
Not that I'm saying you should do that because you shouldn't throw out other people's clothes, but he just destroyed OP's property and he should not have done that. But I would recommend, it's probably time to head for a divorce if he's going to be controlling over you and your body like this. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this is just the start of it, right? It seems like he's shown his true colors now that OP has given birth. And it's just unfortunate that OP didn't find out about his behavior before that. But now that OP does know about this, then there's not much you can do other than start working on the divorce papers, I kind of feel like, because unless he apologizes and, actually corrects his mistake and gets OP, the clothes that she wants, then this just seems like it's going to be a bad thing going worse. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk If I Told His Family That We Are Married? We've been married for 1.5 years and will be 2 years this fall. For some context, I'm a 37-year-old female and he's a 43-year-old male. We eloped, so nobody was there/invited. My husband refused to tell his family that we are married and continues to introduce me as his girlfriend/fiance. We live together. We have a house together. His family frequently comes to visit, and they love me, and I love them. I just hate having to keep our marriage a secret. He takes down the marriage decor in the house when they come and hides our mail that has both of our last names on it. His mom and sister and nephew are currently staying with us for a week, and I feel weird and awkward around them because I feel like it's this great big secret that I can't tell them. What's more, his mother is such a sweetheart. It's not like she is some bitter old lady who will disown him. She's loving and sweet. My husband says that he's afraid of hurting her feelings by telling her that we eloped. And I told him that A, he's a grown adult, not a child, and he should be able to tell his mother that he got married, and that B, he's already hurting my feelings by not acknowledging me as his wife in front of his family, friends, and coworkers. He doesn't even really wear his wedding ring. Only when I ask him to, or only when we go to church. He kept our marriage secret from his colleagues and coworkers too, until it came out when there was a formality with putting me as his wife on his health insurance. He wanted to hide that we were married when planning to meet one of his few friends. It's all causing me a great deal of distress, and I have communicated that clearly and multiple times. But he still refuses to tell his mother as she stays in our house and goes to church with us. I honestly don't know what the problem is with telling her. I feel distressed knowing that he is putting his comfort and living a lie over my feelings and dignity as his wife. What's more, in our faith, it's important that you don't live together while you're unmarried, which we didn't. It's just part of me and my values. He is making it look like we are girlfriend and boyfriend and are living and sleeping together, which I feel dishonors me as his wife. I'm so very tempted to tell his family myself, but I don't want to upset my husband. What's more is that it should be his desire and choice to stop living a lie and tell them. I don't want to keep this a secret and keep lying. On another note, there are a few things that make me doubt the longevity of this marriage. One, he refuses to care for his health. He has multiple health conditions pertaining to his weight, and he is morbidly obese right now. I don't care about a person's weight in general. You can be overweight and healthy, but you can't be morbidly obese and healthy. He says that he wants to lose weight, but I haven't ever seen him put any real effort into doing so. I sent him to a nutritionalist and I cook the healthiest foods that I can for him. I educated him, I coached him, and he keeps gaining weight. He refuses to exercise and continues to eat junk food and fast food. It's exhausting. I told him that he has already signed me up to be his caregiver in a few years from now, and not because of an accident, but because of his lifestyle choices. Don't get me wrong, he's a good person. There is no villain here. He's a great provider, but him being able to live a lie is not love. It's self-neglect and not love. I don't know what to do. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to check if he's brushed his teeth in the morning, tired of being unable to have an adult conversation because he either runs away into the bedroom or hides whenever a conflict arises, or he deflects, projects and blames others instead of working on a solution together to overcome an issue. I feel like I've married a man-child. I didn't know this before, of course. We eloped rather quickly, and I should have taken the time to truly get to know him. But it's too late. I got married, and overall, I was happy with my decision, but now I am doubting if this will work in the future. And back to my original problem. Would I be the jerk if I told his mom and family that we're married, especially now that they're staying with us? All right, folks, what do you think?
Oh my goodness, OP, this is just a bad situation all around. First of all, I would check legally that you are married, make sure that all the paperwork has been filed. Secondly, I think it's probably about time to give him an ultimatum. I mean, you can tell the family at this point in time, but that's going to blow things wide open. I might recommend just putting your foot down, telling him if he does not tell his family in front of you that you're going to tell them, or you're going to divorce him, or something like that. It's just such a bad situation. I feel like, honestly, I feel like the relationship is over at this point in time. If he's refusing to, like, tell people that he's married to OP, if he's refusing to, like, discuss things, like, have any kind of conversation with OP, like he runs and hides or blows up anytime they have a disagreement, this doesn't feel like a healthy relationship of equals. It doesn't seem like he respects OP or cares about her. He probably just likes what she does for him. OP says she feels like she married a man-child, and that may very well be the case, and that he's getting the benefit of having a wife to take care of him, but he doesn't actually want people to know he has a wife.
Such a strange situation, right? Like, I can understand wanting privacy in your life, but this goes beyond just wanting privacy in your life, right? It's like he wants to treat OP like they aren't a thing, right? And it makes me wonder his motivations. Now, as for whether OP would be in the wrong to tell the family, I think that what OP needs to do is they need to sit down and say, look, in 3 days, I am going to tell your family that we are married. You can either choose to tell them yourself, or you can let me tell them, but I am not going to live a lie anymore, right? And that's not an ultimatum. That's just saying that I'm not going to live this lie. I'm going to tell the truth, and you're welcome to tell them first in your own way. But if you choose not to, then I'll tell them in my own way, right? And that's a perfectly reasonable way of approaching the situation that is going to force him to either, allow OP to tell or allow OP not to tell. And he can throw a temper tantrum. And if he does throw a temper tantrum, the mom is going to be wondering why, and then OP can explain why. Oh, he's mad because he is upset that I said that I'm going to tell you that we're married because we've been married for 1.5 years. We eloped. Sorry to tell you like this, but blah, 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 right? I don't know. This situation just does not pass the sniff test at all. There's just something so strange and off-putting about it. And when you said something earlier where you were like, check to make sure you are married. That I hadn't even considered, right? Like, what happens if he arranged a fake, marriage or something like that?
Or just never filed the paperwork.
Even.
Because, you can change your last name legally without, filing your marriage license. Usually you'll know on your marriage license why you... Ugh. But, you don't have to... Because you can change your name for all kinds of reasons. So people will usually start it after they're married, but you don't have to bring your marriage certificate, I don't think. I didn't change my name, but so I would check and make sure that the paperwork has actually been filed and you are legally married.
Yeah.
There's also the issue about with the health insurance and whatnot, and so that raises some questions for me.
Well, I think if he actually was able to do that, then it probably would be on file that they were married. I'm not sure. I don't remember what the legal requirements for health insurance are and stuff like that. But this is, again, the whole thing is just doesn't pass the sniff test. I think that this might even be grounds for annulment. I think if a partner refuses to acknowledge that they're married, there might be some room for annulment in there. I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works based on the time frame, because I thought annulments were usually a very short period of time.
Annulments can be short or long. It's harder to get an annulment the longer a relationship is going on, but if there are certain things that come out, like if you were dishonest about who you were, for instance, before you get married, you could, get an annulment because this person wasn't the person you thought you were marrying or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's rare for longer events, and I think that OP would have to talk to a lawyer, but the fact that he refuses to,
acknowledge the marriage.
Yeah, acknowledge the marriage, I think could be grounds for something like that. Say, look, he refuses to even acknowledge that we're married. He hides the fact that we're married. This hasn't really been a real marriage in that respect. I don't know. There might be an argument there. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What sport do office supplies love?
Well, office supplies, they love support sports. And so what's that? What's a support sport, you might ask? It's when you are a book and you get wedged underneath a table so that it no longer wobbles. That's a support sport. And that's what kind of office the sports that's things at the store like.
Boxing.
Oh, boxing. That makes more sense than support sports.
It's International Box Day today.
Oh.
It's also Juneteenth and National Garfield the Cat Day.
Ooh, very nice. So go find Garfield, pack him up in a box, and then send him away to somewhere.
He's always saying normal to Abu Dhabi,
yeah,
so.
Abu Dhabi. And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior, folks.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it, I don't know, on giving away a dress for being a themed cosplay.
You don't have to give away very sentimental items.
Yeah, yeah. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.